Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to speak about a man who has made this possible for me, and as I mentioned before, has put together this amazing gathering with so many beautiful people, your second significant others, your kids are here, and like I mentioned yesterday, for those who weren't there to hear, this man said that I cannot host this event unless I bring my family with me, which was a great surprise, and this is the first time I'm sort of at a blockchain gathering with my 2.5-year-old daughter, and we have, of course, the man himself with his family as well, the president of Liberland with his family, and it's amazing. So, without further ado, a man that never liked being put in a box. So he spent the last 20 years as an entrepreneur, investment banker, author, professor, speaker, angel investor, and fundraiser for various charities. Currently, Mike Costache is the managing partner at CrowdMentor, the founder of the Blockchain Investors Consortium and the Blockchain Exchange Consortium, and serves on the advisory board of Token as a Service, the first ever tokenized closed-end fund dedicated to investments in blockchain assets. The CEO of d10e, CrowdMentor, BIC and BXC, Mike Costache, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful dinner last night. We have a trademark at d10e for 20 editions. We start 1 hour behind whatever the website and the calendar says. And that is because we want to make sure every seat is filled and everybody's here, they should be here. And everybody that's not here is here with us in spirit. They attempted to be here, but for some reason they couldn't make it. So we live streamed to the whole world on Facebook. I brought my 3 passports with me. My Romanian passport I was born with, nobody asked me. My Israeli passport, which was given to me by Israel, which now is cut off because it expired, but I just renewed it. And my American one, which took 9 years and 3 months from the time I stepped foot at the age of 14 in '92 until I was handed this passport. And last night, for those of you that were here, some of you received this amazing document, which again is a document, is a symbol of passing from here to there, which one day will not exist as we will be possibly biometrically connected to each other. We've hosted so many amazing editions, and we talked about ICOs and we talked about decentralization. But talking about liberty of mindset, where you don't talk about borders, where you don't talk about money and transactions, to me is the most amazing thing. So after all the money that was made last year by so many of us in this room and so many people watching, it is so refreshing to be at an event that I'm co-hosting with my new brother from another mother, Vit, here, and his wife and daughter, and my daughter and his son. They look like one day they may be doing lots of great things together. And in Bucharest at the 14th edition in December, they came and Vit gave his wonderful presentation about this great concept of Liberland and all the updates and everything that they've been working on. And we kind of joked around it, but then we created a board and we said we have to do this together on the 13th of April, which is the birthday of Thomas Jefferson, which is how Vid and his wife and everybody that was there with them back 3 years ago decided that would be the best date to start such a concept of Liberland. And all the plots throughout the world that they've looked at are one day going to be the beginning of this movement of liberty. Now, I'm 40 years old now, and I've been to 70 countries. When I was finishing college, I was an investment banker, and I looked at doing charity fundraising, and I became really good at it. You know, I became a professional beggar from people that I saved money and made money, and they had to give money. Those who didn't, I would cut off that relationship, and it was painful to cut off somebody who was so mean that I save you $3 million or I make you money, you can't give 5,000 or 1,000 or 20,000 or whatever to a charity. I'm saying to you, it's my passion. Please consider it. Then I looked into political fundraising, so I didn't know where to start, and a friend of mine said, hey, Barbara Boxer, U.S. Senator from California, is running for re-election, and she needs $20 million. I said, okay, how much do I have to commit? He said, $25,000. I said, all right, let's bring it to my house in Malibu. I'll commit that. I raised $8,300. And I learned how hard it is to raise money for politicians because 90% of my friends, when I blasted my list of 2,000 people, many of them sent hatred mail back. Said, you can't be my friend anymore. I can't believe you're a Democrat. I said, I'm not a Democrat. I'm just doing a fundraising. This is like part of my experience. Then I went to Las Vegas and I did some fundraising for a friend of mine who became the president of the Jewish Republican Coalition just because it was now the Republicans. And then other people started hating me because I apparently invited them to an event to buy a ticket, to meet people, network, have a good meal, and enjoy each other because of the topic. And then in 2008, a very dear friend of mine who has enough lovers and enough haters, just like any politician, any public figure, Wayne Allen Root, he told me he's going to run for presidency of the 2008 presidential elections for the Libertarian Party. I knew very little about the Libertarian Party, but he's my mentor. He taught me a lot of things since I was 18. He used to live in Malibu. I contributed my $2,000, so now I'm a libertarian apparently, because I gave $2,000 to a candidate who then became the vice presidential candidate together with Bob Barr. It was a really interesting experience for me. So I tried all those three major American political parties. And then, of course, because I represented Donald Trump in Romania by owning a franchise of Miss Universe 2009, 2013, now all of a sudden, again, I'm a Republican. So it's very interesting that as we go through life, if we just give money, or if we're friends with someone, or if we have some business affiliation with someone, we get labels. You know, Miguel here read a bunch of titles, you know, and we have so many titles. You know, where you went to school, I'm white, I'm black, I was born in this country, I went to this school, I wear this watch, I drive this car. Everything we do is brand, 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 brand. And we all have so many chains in our brains about each other when we meet each other that the purpose of these conferences is not just to find money, to find investors and to find advisors, but that's why we extended it to have all these amazing excursions so people could actually enjoy whatever that city offers. And then I decided 2 weeks ago when I was in Malta, because the hotel was so family-oriented, the Hilton there, where we're going to do an amazing conference, I said, from now on, every event will be family-oriented. I went to 25 countries last year for 25 conferences, and I thought I went nuts. I met someone, John Loci, L-O-C-I, the CEO and founder of, John Wise, the CEO of Loci, L-O-C-I. And he said he went to 90 conferences and pretty much destroyed his family relationship and all that. And I said, this is crazy what we're doing. We're running around the world, raising $1 million to then spend it with conference organizers to raise 10, 20, 30, 100 million, a billion, whatever it is. You know, I think the official figure now is around 6 to 7 billion that was raised in the last 2 years from ICOs. And we forget that we're humans. We put on a suit and tie, we put on a badge, and all we do is network, network, network to raise more and more and more money. When I met Vit, February 21 of last year in Bucharest, he gave this amazing speech, and I said, wow, finally, I'm understanding that this whole movement of decentralization doesn't have to do with decentralizing Facebook and decentralizing, you know, advertising or decentralizing whatever everybody's, you know, the world's first decentralized smart database, right, or whatever we're trying to do, or, right? It's about the movement. And all these things that happened last 2 years, all these money-grabbing opportunities made many of us, including myself, forget that this is not the purpose of the decentralization movement. The purpose is exactly what we're doing here today, and exactly what we're going to be doing throughout the day, which is putting together documents to show the world how we should be living ungoverned or governed by ourselves, okay? So I'm very happy that all of you are here, because this is an extremely historical event for me. And I'm happy that it's only 100 people, because if it was 10,000 people, it would be a completely different vibe and a different energy in this room and throughout the whole experience. And Sunday, I think it's going to be so interesting that we go there, but we don't really go there. We're on the river. We're not really on the land, you know? So Vit and I attempted very softly to meet both prime ministers of the two wonderful countries that don't want this land, or they don't even know what they want, besides getting reelected again. So eventually, this will work out, and it's going to be an army of people like you and others that we don't know yet, that we're waking up right now through Facebook or somehow. I mean, through Facebook Live, not through Facebook itself. They're just the deliverance of our message. They're not controlling us, hopefully, anymore after all the great news that's been happening. By the way, if most of you don't know what's happening, it's got to do with the fact that Zuckerberg is going to run for presidency against Trump, and this is a way for Trump's administrators to start slapping him. So don't buy into this whole business of what's happening, because it's all boiling down to politics. So we are very smart people who have built businesses here. We're all smart people because we got involved with politics, but we decided not to be involved with politics anymore. We learned what we could from those experiences, and I really hated the labels that I put on myself by trying to learn, by trying to understand how the world works. Right? But that alienated certain people. Even me being on the stage alienates certain people. Every one of you that gets on the stage will make friends and will alienate others. But it's better than doing nothing. right? So everyone that's coming on stage is going to be on stage. Everyone that's not coming on stage, you are on stage. That's why this event is so small. So every one of you is actually a speaker at this event, which I don't even want to call it a conference. I don't want to call it all these things that we had to, from a marketing point of view, to explain to you what we're doing. This is really an experiential event for you to contribute your thoughts and your ideas and your resources, whether it's financial or just brains or both, to move this much faster. Because what Vit and his wife and every one of you that's been involved, that I'm just getting to meet, have been doing for 3 years, to me is phenomenal. And now that there's a database of 500,000 people throughout the world, there will be a database of 5 million people in a very short period of time that are interested to do something. And we have, as managers, we have to understand and figure out how to get these people involved. Because otherwise we're failing at the same concept we're saying that we would be providing a consensus-based environment. I don't want to call it a method of government. I want to call it a method of self-living, okay? So that is pretty much my message. Of course, we're going to talk about ICOs. Of course, we're going to talk about money. That's the way the world works. But we're here to move this needle like this, not like this. That's my message, and I hope you'll all join this journey. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to get to know you better and help you with anything I can, because it's all about living a karmic life of what can I do for you, which if your life is better, believe me, my life will be better, even if you just say thank you, even if you say something nice to somebody else and I'm not there. All of it perpetuates back to us. I just want to make sure that every one of you has received one of our event booklets. And I know it's a fairly long welcome letter from Vit and I. But besides all the numbers and the people we mention here, I really want you to pay attention to one special thing. And that is how we end this letter. And we end by saying love, because love is trust. I studied a little bit of Greek mythology when I was in college, Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. And I learned that there's no love without trust, and there's no trust without love. And we live in a trustless society, or at least we want to be in a trustless society. So let's first love each other. Create value. We're not here to be leeches. We're not on this planet. Nobody, not any living organism is on this planet to be a parasite. Even parasites have their own purposes. Okay, so please create value. And as you can see here, the third one says pass on the wealth. Technically, you should have first acquired it before you could pass it on, right? So the reason why I want you to skip that stage and focus on passing it on is because it's natural that you're going to get it. But if you think only about getting it and not what you're going to do with it, even if you get it, you're going to be miserable or you're not going to be as fulfilled. So please remember these as Vid and I close this letter. And again, thank you for coming.